Welcome back to the allotment. It's Sunday the 6th of December. I haven't been down the allotment for 2 weeks. I didn't manage to get down last weekend. I was planning to, but we got our Christmas tree and all those kind of Christmassy things took over, so we didn't get much time. But obviously not a lot's going on too fast at the moment, so it's not a problem. But I did want to get down here and just check everything over and do a couple of little jobs. So today I'm going to have a little look around, seeing how things are getting on. I've also got a couple of little jobs to do. First one, I'm going to put some compost in the last bed that's empty. So before I come to the allotment, I've just been down to B&Q and bought some compost. I was going to buy some more garlic to put in, try and get that in, but I couldn't find any in B&Q, and I had a look around the shops that are around it. I looked in like B&M, I know had some before, and other little shops, so I couldn't find any there, so I'm going to go online and order some. Hopefully I'll be able to get some, but at least today I can get a step closer. I'm going to clear out these weeds, which is not too many actually, and I'm going to put that bag of compost in there. This soil wasn't amazing. It was a bit of the compost from the site here, from one of the big compost bins, so it was a bit weedy, and there's not a lot of it. You can see it's not very high up the board, so I want to get it a bit deeper, give everything a space to grow. The other bed we've got garlic in is this one next to it. I like to grow things in twos if I can, get a nice bit of space, and hopefully if I'm planting these a few weeks later, it might give us a bit of distance between them growing. In here you can see we've got a few garlic cloves that have sprouted. There's one there. I can see a few growing up, so they're doing very well considering how cold it is. As I was just driving here, the car says it's 1.5 degrees today, so pretty chilly considering it's I think it's probably about 2 o'clock. You can see the fields over here. It's quite thick fog all around. It's thick all the way into town. Yeah, so it's definitely a cold old day. Yeah, so that's my first job. I'm gonna clear that bed up, put the compost in. I'm gonna order some garlic cloves online. Hopefully they'll be here for next week and we can get them in, see how we get on with them. Be quite nice to have some different varieties in there as well. And the other job I'm going to do, I did a bit of research the last week or so with how we can use this horse manure that we've been collecting from the local stables. Whenever I drive past, I have a look to see if they've got any bags at the front. They give it away for free, so we just pick up the bag if we see it. So yeah, I've been talking to a few different people online and having a look, and it sounds like we can just mix some of this in with our compost. So our compost bin is doing really well actually. I'm quite pleased with it. We've been chucking everything in, not the weeds, but we've been chucking all like the potato tops and the bit of sweet corn there that's still rotting down, and I bring the hay down from our rabbit and our guinea pig, and obviously their stuff, so I chuck that in there, all that sort of stuff. So that has been right up the top at various times this year, and it is rotting all right down, so that's pretty amazing. So I'm going to probably going to put 1 or 2 bags in there, just put a little bit in, and we'll mix it up another day, and I'll slowly add it, just to get a nice mix. Yeah, so that's the other job. I want to start mixing some of that in. Some of it's these ones at the back. I mean, we got those right at the start of the year, so they'll be quite well rotted down, I would have thought, already. Yeah, so there are jobs. And then in terms of how the allotment is doing, obviously it is sort of slowing down, but there's still quite a lot going on. So we've got the garlic here I showed you, and hopefully this other bed will have garlic in. These two have got the broad beans in, so I put the nets over these just to stop the birds get into anything. They seem to be, there's nothing going on yet. There's nothing in there, but the nets have held up, so I'm glad of that. Up here we've got our chard. I'm hoping that will keep growing. I know it gets quite tall, so hopefully that will keep us going through the winter and sort of early next year before it bolts, and we'll have some fresh stuff over winter. Over this end we've got our onions. So this one went in a couple of weeks after the other two, I think. So these are red onions, and then we've got the two beds here that we did first. These are doing quite well. You can see sort of sprouts in both of them. Really pleased with these. These are coming up much better than I thought they would at this point in the year. Obviously they'll go through to right till next year, sort of early summer, I think. But they'll be out in time for us to plant the sort of summer crops that will start at home, and we'll still start everything off at home, and then we can get them in the beds when these things come out. These two, nothing goes. Potatoes in there, but nothing going on. That was sort of an experiment where I put in the some of the potatoes that we harvested. So nothing's happened, but maybe it will next year. If not, we'll reuse the beds. Lots more of this chard. All doing really well. Happy to have that as sort of a winter crop, and hopefully next year we can use it. These potatoes, I'm not sure if the frost has got to these, because they were looking quite good. You can see they're sort of quite level. Either that or something might have eaten these actually. Now I'm looking at it, these bits here look very much like somebody's had a nice little chew on them. So yeah, maybe we've had I don't know if a rabbit would eat those, or there's a lot of pheasants around here. You can hear them in the background probably. I don't know if they would eat them. Yeah, so I'm wondering if somebody's had a chew of those. You never know. But again, they were just ones that come out of the kitchen that had sort of started growing in the cupboard, so I just chucked them in. So nothing lost. It's just one of those things. I always chuck it, if we've got spare space, I always chuck them in the ground. Sometimes they grow quite well. And then the last bed is this kale bed. Again, I think that's going to be a bit of a flop, this bed. They were looking really good. There was some nice little ones, but I think it's just a bit too late for them, a bit too cold. So we'll see. I did have a look under the plastic, and there's nothing really going on. So next year, definitely got it in my mind to get those in much earlier, so we've got a decent crop at this time of year of kale going on. But we didn't really have the space this year, so that's it was juggling what we could actually get in. Hopefully one of the really good things next year is we'll have all these beds. I think there's 15 here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 15, and I'm hoping to build another one there. So there'll be 16 beds going into next year, that we can get stuff straight into. Obviously all this chard should come out early spring, I would have thought. The onions and garlic will come out before the certainly before these beds I was going to use for pumpkins and squashes and stuff, so they'll definitely come out before that. And the broad beans will be out in June-ish. So yeah, plenty of time to get stuff out. So time to crack on and actually do some work. I'm just going to clean this bed up and get this compost in, and then it's ready to go as soon as I've got some garlic cloves, and we can get those in hopefully next week. So there we have a nice weed-free bed. I took quite a lot out, quite a lot of the soil out as well as I was doing it. I wasn't sort of pulling them out gently, I was just taking clumps. I'm quite happy to a lot of that sort of heavy clay to go. So yeah, I've got that nice and clean, and now I'm just going to chuck this compost in. Before I empty this bag, I thought I'd show you, I saw somebody else mentioning this. This compost is from B&Q, and it's the Good Home multi-purpose compost. And this one is peat-free, so it's got 0% peat in it. But you do need to be careful at B&Q. the other sort they've got, which is Verve, which I think is their home brand. Although I kind of guess this would be their home brand as well. But the Verve has got, I think it was like 85% or something peat in it. So yeah, I know a lot of people have been saying about B&Q compost is peat free, but you do have to sort of have a quick look, because some of it is and some of it isn't. I did pick up the other one, and then I thought to check, and this is the one I half the time buy. I think, yeah, just judging by the bags I've got laid out, that is the one I've bought. So yeah, so we've been doing it peat free, which is reassuring. Yeah, so I thought I'd point that out, just because there are some there that aren't. So there's a very satisfying, lovely compost bed, all filled up, looking very nice, ready for something to go in it, ready for the garlic to go in it. I do appreciate it's quite an expensive way to fill these beds, and I have used a lot of that free soil improver in the bottoms of these beds, and then top them up with compost. I wanted to start as good as we can, going forwards without lots of weeds, lots of seeds in them, and it's really helped in these beds that I've put compost in. I've saved a huge amount of time, not having to weed, and having good compost. So hopefully going forwards I won't be buying much, but it's really getting it going still. Hopefully that compost bin will do a lot of our needs next year, and I haven't been putting weeds in there, so hopefully it'll be pretty good. Yeah, I know a lot of people will try and do it all from the compost bin out on the site. It's kind of hard to get going like that, and I wanted to sort of get a good running start, but hopefully going forward we won't have to put so much money in, and obviously we saved a lot of money with all of these beds. All of this wood was free, and I haven't bought any of this plastic. This was all on the site. Even the mud kitchen was all free, recycled. So that's all good. So now the less glamorous job, I'm going to tip some of these, a couple of these horse manure bags in our compost and let that rot down over winter. Next time I come, I'll bring the spade and give it a good turn, mix it all up a little bit. That's all my jobs done. I won't show you the horse manure in the compost bin, but that's got a big bag of that in, and we'll see how well that rots down over the coming weeks, and chuck some more in as we go. Really happy with the way some of the onions and garlic have come up. So that's encouraging for next year. I'm not going to harvest any chard today. I'm going to let that keep growing. We've got plenty of food in at the moment, so we'll leave that till it gets a bit bigger and over winter, and we'll use that later on. But yeah, doing well. Looking forward to the broad beans coming up. Hopefully they'll come up and not get nibbled like the other bits. Yeah, it's just a lovely foggy day. One thing I do need to start thinking about is the track coming in is very, very muddy, especially in the car. I didn't bring the camper down today, so I think I'm going to have to start parking on the road. It's quite muddy. There's bits of gravel, but there's a lot of mud on the way in. So yeah, I don't know if other allotment sites are like that. Certainly over winter I don't think I'm going to be able to drive up here too much. So yeah, hope you enjoyed a foggy look at the allotment today. Obviously no one down here. I haven't seen anyone down here for ages actually. When we drive past there hasn't been anyone down here. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll get down here next week with some garlic, if not the week after, and we can get that in the ground.